is up, everybody? Friendly grower here. Just gonna go over some germination techniques that I go through. For those of you that don't know, that's basically how to start a seed. It's fancy talk. I use these to start my seeds, but starting from the beginning, so those are my 4 seeds. They've been soaking in this water for about 18 hours, and you can see a couple of them have sunk. Basically what I'm doing is I'm hydrating the shell and the seed so I can speed up the germination process, and I can also see what's going on. Now, the reason that I like to use these rather than planting them right into my pot is because I can actually see the root development as it breaks to the edge of the pellet. When it's in a pot and your soil or your seed hasn't broken soil yet, you can't really tell what's going on, if it's growing, if it's dying, like what's happening. So these are a way to just kind of see into the soil without actually having to dig into it or anything. So the first thing that I do is I have about 10 tablespoons of water here, and I'm gonna put a little bit of peroxide. The reason that I do that is because the seedlings love oxygen. They don't really need nutrients to grow, they just need water and oxygen. That's all that they need to start out. Beyond that, they're gonna need, all the normal stuff, but they have everything that they need to start inside of themselves except for the water and the air. The first thing I'm gonna do is hydrate my pucks. It might look like a lot of water, but I let them soak it up, and whatever's left over I take out. So while these guys are a little soaking up, I set them off to the side. A lot of people will say, use tweezers or use your fingers, or in my opinion, it really doesn't make a difference. You don't want to be touching the seeds if you don't have to be. That's why I will use tweezers, but if, need be, I don't think it makes a big deal. Just be extremely delicate with them because they are unbelievably fragile. So as these hydrate with water, I'm just gonna go over one of the other methods that a lot of people will say is the paper towel method, and I fully support the paper towel method. After my years of growing, this has become kind of like my equivalent of it. I would still be doing it if I didn't like the way that this worked for me. Otherwise, you would take the seeds directly out of this water and you'd put them onto a plate with a piece of paper towel, and then you put the seed inside of the paper towel and you dump some of the water from here onto the paper towel. You don't want it soaked, but you don't want it dry. You want it lightly saturated. It's not complicated, but it seems complicated. Just amperly. And then you're gonna fold your paper towel shut, and you're gonna put it into something that can provide like a high humidity. So most people will use like another plate on top, or for me, the reason I like these is because I will have just a lid that goes on top afterward. And all you're trying to do is create a nice humid environment for them so they can thrive and they can grow as best as possible. So if you look over here now, I'm pretty sure another seed has sunk. To me, when they sink, that means that they're hydrated and saturated, and they're basically holding as much or as close to as much water as they're going to be holding. So on to the next step. I know these guys aren't fully opened up. They take forever, but as they sit in here, they will, and I think that little bit of extra water will be okay for now. So I'm gonna start with the bottom ones to give that floater a little bit of extra time. I lightly grab it with a tweezer, drop it in, another one, drop it in, A lot of people will say, you know, oh, you got to plant it with the taproot up and taproot down. Well, as you can see, I'm planting it before the taproot comes out, and I'm pretty sure they're smart enough to know which way they need to grow, because the light is above them and they want to grow up to the light. So now that we have that done, I just come back and I lightly make a little crevice just to push them a little bit down into, and cover them just a hair. I don't want to see the seed, but I don't want the seed to be like, you know, in the bottom of the pellet. It's basically just to keep a little bit of light off of them. You don't want the light. I'm using the back of my tweezers now because in the past I've used the front end, the sharp end, and if there is a taproot poking out and you cut it or you damage it, they're super young and they're super sensitive and they really don't like it. So save yourself a headache and use the other end. So the difference between this and the paper towel method is these little guys are basically my paper towel. Beyond that, there's not much of a difference. I'm going to just quickly pop these out of here. Get rid of the excess water. Place them back in. You want to make sure they're on the bottom of the tray also. That way they can actually absorb the water and stay saturated. And then just a little splash of water back in. Put the lid on top. I will give that a cleaning after, it's a little bit dusty. And mark what we got. So we're crossing out those. And GFD, Grapefruit Diesel. So that was basically my little tutorial on how to germinate and start a seed. I will keep you guys updated on this grow. This is the one I'm going to showcase on my channel. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe please. Join our Facebook group, the Friendly Growers Club on Facebook, and I'll catch you all in the next video.